Hello again, everybody. This is the vlog series from the desk of Dr. Rob Robinson, and this is vlog number 10. So hope you've been enjoying the vlog series and checking out the other vlogs out that we have produced. And today, vlog 10 is going to focus on fostering self-love. And the reason I felt this might be an interesting topic is because so much of what happens with people in their lives and the way that they live and how they feel, and even the pain that they experience on a physical level, including a mental health level, is most often related to the level of self-love that a person has. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way. I mean that in the way that if people have negative self-concepts or negative self-impressions of who they are, I like to say, more of a mind-based or ego-based interpretation where they see themselves as unlovable or unloving, then all of the challenges that a person will feel in their life will stem from that mistaken identity. So there's a few steps here that I thought might be interesting in trying to help people understand how to foster self-love. And again, sometimes when we hear that term, fostering self-love, people think that, immediately that's an egotistical way to think. But I really mean it at a deeper level, in a spiritual way, in fact. So these are some pointers on how to foster that self-love and that seeing yourself as a loving human being that I hope will point you in the right direction. So the first step is actually trying to understand and know the truth about who you really are. And I suppose the best way for me to describe what I mean by this is to kind of point you to the understanding that we're really a soul with a body rather than a body with a soul. And I think sometimes the best way to get people to begin experiencing who they truly are, outside of the identification that they may have made for themselves around a mind-generated, conditioned concept of who they are, which is frankly accumulated over a period of time in someone's life, from all of the impactful relationships and situations that we've experienced. But I think the best way sometimes is just to unplug all of your devices and eliminate all of the noise around you and sit quietly. And even for brief moments, be able to take a deep breath and just be the awareness of presence in that still and quiet space. And if you can begin to capture the experience of what that is, that gets to the truth about who you really are. We're a soul with a body. We're really having a spiritual mission here rather than just a human mission. And beginning to see that other dimension, that deeper dimension of our being, is one of the most critical shifts that a person can make as they go through their life in a mission really of discovering who they are. So the first one is just know the truth about yourself. The second one is, I think, and it's helpful, is to use affirmations. Affirmations are just powerful little affirmative messages that we can repeat to ourselves throughout the day quietly and meaningfully. For example, one of the things that I think is helpful is to say that I am the presence of God, or I am a loving human being. You take a deep breath, you repeat these affirmations quietly, and these powerful little messages actually over time, repeated quietly to yourself, to begin to shape and really embed the truth about anything we might want to be working on in a positive way. So affirmations can be a powerful way to embed the message about being a spiritual being. I think the third thing is we have to be willing to challenge mistaken perceptions of ourselves. The mind becomes so conditioned in response to the way we have viewed ourselves and the world around us that we often don't really wake up to the idea that all of that is simply a collection of thoughts or perceptions that we project into the world, and really what we're seeing is a mirror of our inner voice and our inner message. So we are much more than a collection of conditioned thoughts who we might mistakenly think we are. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges, is to be willing to challenge those embedded, mistaken perceptions that are really an illusion about who we are and not the truth. And I think too that, again, one pointer that I think is helpful is knowing the difference between what I would call the negative ego and the true self. Again, the negative ego is really a depository for all of the messages from impactful relationships and situations we've had along the way. And if a lot of those messages, unfortunately, are painful ideas about who we are, and what the world is, and all of those beliefs, if you will, are stored in the negative ego, and that then becomes mistaken for who we are. So know the difference between the true self and the negative ego. The other pointer, I think, in these steps for fostering self-love is knowing a truth about something, that it's virtually impossible to harm yourself in any way if you love yourself. It's impossible to hurt yourself with addictions and repetitive, painful situations and people who are maybe in your life that are creating pain and discomfort, and relationships that may be painful. All of these things are impossible to expose yourself and to harm yourself from if you care about who you are and you love yourself. That's an important pointer. The other pointer is that your body and mind will manifest that which you see. So if we see the world if we see ourselves as unloving, then we're going to see the world as unloving. And our bodies and minds will manifest that's what we see in our life. So if we see pain and stress and resentment and all kinds of negative emotions in the world around us and in ourselves, it's impossible for our bodies and minds not to manifest that point of view in the form of pain and discomfort. So that's an important piece to realize about fostering self-love. And I think too, another step is that realizing that the primary miracle in life is experienced when you realize really who you are. And oftentimes that discovery, unfortunately, awakens after experiencing a lot of pain in situations. You know, Eckhart Tolle likes to talk about the idea that each one of us has a spiritual teacher, and that spiritual teacher comes in the form of suffering. And it's the suffering that eventually can unlock the truth about who we are if we can see the trials and the tribulations as lessons that point us to the truth about our being. And then finally, I think it's a good idea to lose your mind to find stillness and peace. In other words, you know, the mind's a great asset, but not unless we can shut it down and create a sense of stillness and peace and lose the conditioned thought process so that we can just be the aware presence that underlines thinking. So, those are some steps in fostering self-love. This is vlog number 10 from the desk of Rob Robinson. I really appreciate you guys checking in and hope you'll come back and check again soon with the other vlogs that we have here on YouTube. Thank you very much and have a great day.